Today we are going to review a game from the Sword Art Online series.
Yay, this is going to be great, because Sword Art Online is really original and stuff.
Different from the previous game adaptations of the series, this one takes place in the ALfheim Online. In the original light novel, the second part of the story revolves around this game, which is pretty different from the Sword Art Online that everyone is used to. This arc was much more interesting for me than the previous one, because it didn't feel like a .hack ripoff. And that's why I was looking forward for Sword Art Online Lost Song. Unfortunately, I'm a little disappointed with it. The ALfheim Online from the original story was all about flying around freely in an open world, but in this adaptation, it's not quite like this. You can also fly here, and the controls are even better than what I was expecting. But this is not an open world. Actually, the game is very linear. You can fly around, but all the dungeons will be locked until you move the plot forward.
The plot in this game is kinda boring too. In the light novels, there is always something at stake. Escaping from a game where you can die in real life, saving people from a comatose state, fighting against a serial killer. But in Lost Song, Kirito and his friends are just playing ALfheim Online at their leisure. There is nothing really important to do. Well, there is a plot about a lolly celebrity creating a new guild that becomes the most powerful group in the game, but it's not that interesting in comparison to the story from the novels.
And one more thing about this story. In order to know who in the hell all those people are, you need to be a hardcore fan of the series. There are characters from the previous games, recent volumes of the light novels, and even from spin-offs, and none of them get a proper introduction.
You also get some elements of dating simulation, but you know how Asuna and Kirito are pretty much married, and they keep talking about that all the time, so it feels really awkward to date the other heroines. You would be a horrible person if you decided to date any of the other girls.
To be honest, Sword Art Online Lost Song is not really that bad. The gameplay is fine, the combat is simple, the event scenes are okay, and the soundtrack is not half bad. On the other hand, the graphics, well,
We are both ventriloquists. We are both ventriloquists and we practice every day.
But at the very least, they don't suck. In the end, the game is average at best. There is nothing really remarkable about it. One of the main features would be the exploration aspect. And at first glance, the world map looks huge, which is great. But later on, you'll notice it's actually quite empty and small. You do unlock new areas later, but it doesn't help much, since every dungeon looks exactly the same. To make matters worse, there is only one city in the entire game. Taking everything into account, the game gets boring after just a couple hours. Unless you are a huge fan of this franchise, I wouldn't recommend this game. It is pretty expensive after all.
But you're forgetting something really important. You get to play with the greatest character ever! Kirito! He is so awesome! But that friend of his, he sucks.
お前そろそろ一人くらい譲れよな。
クラインってさ、セブンのクラスタになったんじゃなかったのか。
それはそれ。これはこれだよ。
Even I am cooler than that guy.
Yeah. Let's finish this review already. But before we do that, let's pay our respect to the Sacred Trinity. In the name of the Super Coordinator, and of the Bitter, and of the Holy Onisama, Amen.